You wake up tired. Even if you slept, your phone is quiet, too quiet, and for a split second, you forget what happened until it hits you again. Your chest feels heavy, not sharp pain, just pressure, like you are carrying something physically heavy that you cannot put down. You replay conversations you have already replayed 100 times, different ending, same outcome. You tell yourself you are fine, but everything feels harder. Food tastes dull, music hits differently, and the nights are the worst. If this sounds familiar, you are not weak, and you are not broken. This is what a nervous system does after loss. Your brain is trying to make sense of something that ended without giving you closure. In this video, we aren't going to talk about time heals all wounds. We are going to look at the biology of why you feel this way, and the exact protocol to lift that weight off your chest. First, we need to strip away the story and look at the chemistry. Why does it physically hurt? When you are in a relationship, your partner becomes a biological regulator for you. They regulate your sleep, your mood, and your dopamine levels. When they leave, they don't just leave your house. They rip out that regulation system. The heaviness you feel is your body going into withdrawal. It is flooding you with cortisol, the stress hormone, because it perceives the separation as a threat to your survival. Most people try to fight this with logic. They say, "I shouldn't miss them. They were bad for me." But your brain doesn't care about logic. It cares about the chemical drop. You aren't missing the person. You are missing the supply. Once you understand that you are in withdrawal, you stop blaming yourself for not being over it yet. You treat it like an injury, not a character flaw. So how do we stop the pain? The first step is the hardest, the dopamine detox. Right now, you are likely checking their social media or checking your old texts. Every time you do that, you are scratching a mosquito bite. It feels good for a second, and then it itches twice as much. You are looking for a hit of connection, but because they are gone, all you find is pain. You need to commit to the 21-day rule. For 21 days, you do not check, you do not look, you mute their stories, you archive the chat. This isn't about being petty. It is about starving the neural pathway that is addicted to them. Every time you check, you reset the clock. Give your brain 21 days of silence, and the chemical grip will start to loosen. There is a trap here that most people fall into, the just friends trap. You might tell yourself, "I can't lose them completely, I'll just be their friend." Biologically, this is impossible right now. You cannot be friends with someone while you are still in withdrawal from them. It is like an alcoholic sitting in a bar and trying not to drink. It consumes all your energy just to act normal. When you try to be just friends immediately, Step 2 is moving the energy. Remember that cortisol we talked about? It is a fight or flight hormone. It is designed to make you run from a predator. But in a breakup, there is no predator to run from. So that energy sits in your chest and turns into anxiety. You cannot think your way out of high cortisol. You have to move it out. You need a physical anchor. This is one thing you do every single day that is purely for your body. It could be a 20-minute run. It could be lifting heavy weights. It could be a cold shower. The goal isn't to get fit. The goal is to signal to your nervous system, we are alive, we are moving, we are safe. When you push your body physically, your brain is forced to switch from heartbreak mode to survival mode. It gives you a break from the thoughts. Step 3 is the myth of closure. You might be sitting there thinking, if I just understood why they left, I could move on. You play out imaginary conversations. You write long letters you never send. Here is the cold truth. You do not need their explanation to heal. Closure is not something they give you. Closure is something you give yourself when you decide that you are no longer willing to wait for them to choose you. If they left, that is the closure. Their absence is the answer. Stop looking for hidden meaning in their last words and start looking at the reality of their absence. Step 4 is fixing the story. The pain often comes from a story you are telling yourself. Stories like, "I wasn't enough," or "I will never find this again," or "they were the only one." These are lies. Your brain tells you to try to make sense of the pain. I want you to try the fact versus feeling exercise. Take a piece of paper. Draw a line down the middle. On the left, write what you feel. For example, "I feel like I lost my soulmate." On the right, write the facts. Fact, we argued every week. Fact, they didn't support my goals. Fact, it ended for a reason. When you look at the facts, the pedestal you put them on starts to crumble. You start to see a human being, not a god, and human beings are replaceable. Finally, you need to rebuild your own garden. While you were with them, you probably neglected parts of yourself, your hobbies, your friends, your career. Now is the time to water those plants again. Pick one small project, not a life-changing goal, just a small project. Reading one book, learning one song, fixing up your room. This creates competence. When you finish something, your brain releases dopamine that is 100% yours. It doesn't depend on a text back. It doesn't depend on anyone else. It is yours. The more dopamine you can generate on your own, the less you will need it from them. Healing isn't a straight line. Some days you will feel fine. Some days, the wave will hit you again. That is okay. Just remember, the wave is biological. It is temporary. And it always passes.